And hello, welcome to our Thursday Live for the Association of PEMF Providers. I am Dr. Jerry Dreessen, the Executive Director here at the Association of PEMF Providers. And those of you that are watching for the first time, who are we? Well, we are an international organization that is all about defining PEMF and helping people that are interested in growing their business or using PEMF and creating support systems, but also certification programs so that when you are out and about that you have the most current regulatory information, that you are able to know all the best practices for PEMF, whether you are working with humans or animals, or are just interested in what PEMF is all about. And so today I thought, what could we talk about in preparation for our PEMF convention, which is coming up, and I'll talk about that here at the end of our talk today. But also, if you are watching this live, feel free to comment below, and I'll answer any questions live. We have two Facebook groups. One is for members only, and one is an open one. Again, you can which is where you're watching this if you're on Facebook. Feel free to drop in something there as well. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Today's topic, what I wanted to do is talk about what's going on, what's happening out there in the world of PEMF. For those of you that I consider old timers that have been doing this since PEMF was literally a spark in your eye, that's been from maybe one or two videos to now it's everywhere. And it's been around long enough for the research to say it's a good thing, that it's helpful, the things that it can help. And more research is being done. We've got stacks and stacks of research that just need to be approved before it can be published so that we can see and learn even more about it. And again, those of you that are into research, to me, a double-blind study is always the best. That's where the people using the device don't know if the device is truly PEMF or not, and the person receiving it doesn't really know if it's PEMF or not. And the way PEMF works, those of you that have that know that it's easy to set up to create what they call in the research business a sham or a placebo, so that you can get really good results with that. So if you can imagine somebody putting a device on you saying it's PEMF, they themselves not knowing if it is or not, and you receiving it. I mean, you can make a machine click, you can make a pad click, or you can make something buzz or hum or not do anything, and you don't know if you're getting it or not. That to me is the best type of research, because you're going to be able to tell the person how you feel about it, and they themselves don't know if what you're doing is PEMF or not. So anyways, that's on the research side. That's the great thing about that. But it's also the length of time. So a lot of times it's, we started this, we did a 3-month follow-up, we did a 1-year follow-up, people that are using it X frequency, what their age group is. So there's a lot of complications along the way. But the more that you can absorb that information from that control group, the better your presentation. And so, like I said, there's stacks and stacks of these researches going on. We just have to wait for them to complete and then be written up so that we can take a look at it. So what is going on in the world of PEMF? Well, I did a couple of screenshots, and what I have found is there are just even on PEMF research, if you do, PEMF, what is PEMF? You'll get a screen, and then these are things that, according to Google, these are the things that people ask. And like, what does PEMF do to the body? Does PEMF therapy actually work? Is PEMF the same as a TENS machine? Who should not use PEMF? So these are real world questions. And a case study that you could do is do the same thing. Just, type it in, see what people are asking, and then come up with your answers for these. Take these questions, put them on your website, frequently asked questions, and then answer them. And, our organization has these answers for you. As members, we're more than happy to, give you the top answers that are supported with research, and also, what's out there. For example, what does PEMF do to the body? Well, it depends on who's asking the question, right? If it's just it helps your blood flow system work better, or it makes you feel better, or it helps your body heal faster. It depends on who you're talking about and what body are we talking about. We're talking about horses. We're talking about animals. We're talking about grizzly bears, llamas, giraffes. There's lots of different animals that are having PEMF used on them too. So it depends on who's asking the question. But for you, just to do kind of a deep dive, here's 4 questions that, if you can answer those, put them on your Facebook one at a time, put them on your Instagram, all kinds of great ways that you can promote your business with this too. But those of you that are wondering about that, that's what the AOPP does. And you can ask us directly down below. If you're watching our YouTube live or our Facebook live or LinkedIn live, you can ask your questions down below too. We'll be more than happy to answer them. On this same page of the search, the next thing that was showing up is we've got the National Institute of Health telling us what PEMF is. And it's a non-invasive treatment that applies intermittent current pulse-generated magnetic pulses over a short time frame. And those of you that are not in the medical field know that the word treatment needs to be swapped out for the word session if you're using it. We've talked about that too in our presentations. So the National Institute of Health recognizes it. This is a government agency, and that's great. And it talks about PEMF in a positive way. ScienceDirect.com talks about PEMF as far as an overview. And it says PEMF therapy involves the application of electromagnetic energy to tissues. Several preclinical and clinical trials of PEMF have shown positive effects. And again, you can click on it to read more. So again, here's another, ScienceDirect.com for those of you that follow that website. But again, it's another website that talks about things PEMF in a positive way. We go into Wikipedia, and again, Wikipedia has their scrapers, but then people can also come in and be contributors to it. So it's an interesting. Wikipedia has always been interesting as far as how they present things. But again, electromagnetic field therapy, or PEMFT, or PEMF, also known as low magnetic stimulation. So they're coming up with all of the different buzzwords that are out there, is the use of electromagnetic fields, electromagnetic fields. And then again, you can click on it. And then it usually scrapes the web for the positive, the negative, people that are pro, people that are against. So you can see kind of a pro-con in there. They try and be as non-biased as possible, which is good. That's what we want. But you can read more about it there too. And then down at the bottom of the page, these are things that people are also searching for. So they're looking for PEMF therapy devices, PEMF benefits, therapy side effects, therapy near me, therapy cost, therapy Mayo Clinic. So they're wanting to know if it's in the hospitals now. How does PEMF work, and what is PEMF therapy used for? So again, if you can take, as a marketing concept, if you can take these questions, put them in your facts, or have them in a area on your site, or again, each one of these could be a key title for your own Q&A on your own, like I said, an Instagram post or a Facebook post or your Google Business Profile post. You can go in and use these specifically because these are what the search engine algorithms are pulling up. So, you can talk about devices. You can talk about your devices, what devices are designed to do and what the benefits are. So again, this is where we can kind of be careful what's being said as far as benefits. I would only recommend using the benefits that we talk about on the national organization, international organization. There are a lot of people that are saying what they believe it can do, or it's not a backed up process. And that's kind of where we're running into problems, especially in the veterinarian side, where we have people that use PEMF and they're promising results, or they're stating results that aren't located anywhere, or there's a conversation going with somebody like in a barn, and there's somebody else that overhears that, even though the conversation's private, but what's being said isn't backed up by science. Then that's how we start having regulatory issues pop up. So especially if you're on a site where you're being paid and there's other owners of horses, or there's a vet present, those are where you got to be careful. So anyways, that's kind of the small microcosm of what we're seeing. And then also, you can, again, this is where you pop in on these things, and you can actually click on the articles that are coming up. So this is pulsed electromagnetic field regulate metabolic reprogramming and mitochondrial fission in endothelial cells for angiogenesis. Angiogenesis is creation of blood vessels. Mitochondria fission in endothelial cells. Endothelios, like the skin cells, the outer cells. But again, you got to look at this one because it was seahorse assay was conducted. So this wasn't on a human. So you can't say, well, I read about how this builds blood cells and blood vessels in humans, and it doesn't. So make sure when you see a headline that you go further into it to learn about it. And then there are also reactive oxygen species were used to measure changes in the mitochondrial structure in human umbilical vein and endothelial cells. So, read a little bit further where it talks about humans. And pulling this up, you can see they had a couple of different things going on, but study these reports if you're going to quote the headlines or talk about them. Because somebody might come up to you and say, hey, I want you to cite your source. And if you go, it was something I saw on a video by Dr. Dreessen, I'm not the source to quote. You got to sort the article. So those are some brief things that are going on. This will be a short talk today. And again, what I did is I just typed in PEMF therapy, and I looked at the first 5 things that popped up. You can go in and do more searches, but my point was 15, 20 years ago, that wasn't anywhere. And now you've got 10, 15 pages deep in all kinds of, not only like Wikipedia and, Institute of Health, but you've also have 7 or 8, 9 vendors and, 2 or 3 different companies that make and sell these products. And we've been able to gather some of these vendors and speakers and drop them into a thing we call PEMF Con. And that's our convention that's coming up. And it's in October. It's in 3 weeks. So our registration is open. We've already got people that have registered. Our speaker lineup is full, and we've got, I think we're in the final hookups with these speakers, trying to get them in on these dates and times. And we're trying to get them all live so that as they talk, that they're also able to go into a breakout and answer questions live from you too, which is a great way to be a part of this whole thing. And if you go online on our website, you'll see the banner. You just click on it and register today. Pretty easy to do. And we would love to have you come on board. This is a growing product. PEMF is not going to go away. And those of you that are hopping on and becoming businesses, you're still in the forefathers growing of this great, remarkable product, and more people are jumping on. Devices are being used all over in all the professional sports. We're seeing them, beginning to be used in hospitals. There are some archaic devices that are out there that are still being used in hospitals, but as the generations of rebuilding and remodeling and coming out with new, higher quality PEMF devices, in fact, you'll hear about these from our vendors and manufacturers of PEMF devices at our convention. So we're excited about that. And if you want to know more about that, of course, always jump in, like and share this video. If you're watching on Facebook, hop over to YouTube, like that video. If you're on LinkedIn, hop over there and like the video. Help us spread the word. And I'm so glad that those of you that are watching live, you get a chance to see this and have the opportunity to jump in and do a comment too. Again, we have Instagram, so we're trying to spread out all over the internet, so more and more people get to see this. But we're really excited about this year's PEMF Con, and you'll get to know more about it as you jump in and be a part of it. Again, I will be on the members only side, hanging out there for a few minutes afterwards, but also on the non-members only. Again, please ask your questions there. We'll be able to do that. And as I said at the top of the talk today, if this is your first time seeing a video about the Association of PEMF Professionals, this is our code of ethics. And we are treating all those who are manufacturing, distributing, or using PEMF equipment with common courtesy. Members of AOPP pledge to be straightforward and honest in all professional and business relationships. Members of the AOPP will not allow bias, conflict of interest, or undue influence of others to override professional or business judgments, to be ambassadors of goodwill to others, to be truthful, fair, and to make our industry beneficial to all concerned. Professional competence is to maintain professional knowledge and skill at the level required to ensure that clients or employees receive competent professional service, and to act diligently in accordance with applicable technical and professional standards when providing professional services. And then confidentiality. Members of AOPP pledge to protect information of theirs and their clients from unauthorized access, use, disclosure, modification, loss, or theft. If you want to become a member, it's really easy to do. Just head over to PEMFprofessionals.com. Become a member, get certified in animals, humans. You get 2 certifications to pick from as a member. Then you get to get all the wonderful stuff we have backstage. You have access to membership discounts on buying lots of stuff that we've got through one of our systems. There's also a discount in getting insurance for your device and going out and doing on-site sessions. If you have questions or if you have tips, if you've been out there and you say, hey, this is something I found out that works really well, or, Mrs. Johnson showed up and sat down next to me. She didn't tell me she had keys in her pocket, those kinds of things. Those all help us out, and we are able to present those at our conventions and also during these lives. So feel free to reach out to us. And again, questions and tips, info@PEMFprofessionals.com. Thank you very much for your time today. I look forward to seeing you at the PEMF Con. And again, you can hop in there and learn more about it. Would love to have you become a PEMF Con member. And we'll see you next week on our next Thursday Live. And with that,